This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
Frank, par 4 first, relatively gentle start to the round.
It is, Rich. They've taken out the desert that used to limit the players to a drive of about 300 yards. Now, really, you can hit it as far as you want, but you have to be straight. The bunker down the left certainly makes the players respect this opening hole.
That is just a beautiful shot. Second shot, good look at the green. This is a good-looking shot. Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. Has the putt, and now at -1. Teed up here at the par 4 second. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just blaze away over the hill. Green also changed with the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side.
She's ended up on the fairway and with such a good lie. So many more options available now. Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Strong winds continue to be a factor. Frank, I know you've played all over the world. How much did you enjoy the challenge of playing into a stiff breeze?
Well, it was a chance to separate yourself from the rest of the field, Rich. Just like these conditions we're seeing right now. You've really got to be smart, pick the right shot. If you get too aggressive on a day like today, you'll pay a far more severe price than normal.
Club selection obviously is crucial.
Oh, it's imperative today.
Take an extra club or two, choke down?
Very much so.
How about this? Birdies at 1 and 2. We could be in for something pretty special today. Now the third hole, it's a par 5, and how does this one set up, Frank?
It's a nice yardage around that 550, 560 yard mark. So a good drive, you can certainly reach the par 5 and 2. You've got to flash it across a little bit of a desert there. This green has been completely changed in 2014, and the addition of 1 bunker to that right side. Used to be 2.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there, and right down Peachtree. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid, John. Very impressed.
Here now at the par 3 fourth. Frank, what's the setup here?
Plays a little downhill, so it won't play its full 180 yards. Perhaps take one club off the decision off the tee. The green, as you can see now, is a little wider than what it was deep. The bunkering, though, is certainly excellent there. A little pop bunker on the right side, one there if you come up a little short, and there's another one on the left side should you pull your tee shot.
I like the looks of this one. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Just a couple of feet. Playing some outstanding golf right now. That's another birdie and 5 under par. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, I have to say I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
I agree. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the round plays out.
Might go deep here in the red numbers. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Frank, I thought that was in. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased with that bunkering and that choke point. So, the strategy. Do you have the length to get past them? Or, if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, no reason here to think we're going to see anything other than another good shot.
Yeah, in a great flow, and golf like this looks easy.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Birdie try up next. Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par. So makes the putt, and now at -6. Now to the second par 3 on the front 9. This is the 7th hole.
Yeah, quite a stiff par 3 because of the narrowness in the front. Really favoring a higher shot that's going to land softly, and therefore you can open up that green, because the further back you go, the wider it gets.
Really well done, just inside of 5 feet there.
Second shot.
Five birdies for the day. What a performance. This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Good tee shot, right in the fairway, and plenty long. About 120 yards to the hole. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
that moves them to 8 under par. 2 straight birdies. Rounding out the front 9 with a par 4 of 453 yards from the back tee. Looks to be straight away here, Frank. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, that bunker, there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. There is now 1, and it also pinches into the fairway, which almost makes this hole look like a faint dogleg right. But really, the best line is still down the left side, so it still actually suits a draw off the tee. Green is slightly elevated and not very deep, too. So judging that second shot, getting the right club is essential here at 9.
Moving a little left of the flagstick, Frank. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. Rolling the rock, Frank.
Oh, and yet another birdie, Rich. Beautiful stroke.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. That's an absolute beauty.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, you've been around this game for a pretty long time. Are players, in fact, more athletic today than they were, say, 20, 25 years ago?
There's no question, Rich, they are. That we've borrowed from other sports. If you can't make the player better, you can make them more athletic. And in the end, you're still making the golfer better.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there.
Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Now minus 10 for the round. Moving on to the 11th hole, Frank, water all along the left side, 472 yards. How do you handle this one?
Well, this one's weird because the tees are a little off-center. They start down the right side, which makes it into a dogleg. And you mentioned the water. It always comes into play. And there are 0 fairway bunkers. You don't need them here at 11 because really it's all about the tee shot. Find the fairway. Then even though it's a long par 4, you should be able to at least attack that green safely. Miss the fairway to the right, which is the barrel outside, and your problems are just starting.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Birdie try up next.
No, it can't be. 6 in a row?
This would be 6 in a row. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, Frank, this is kind of the forgotten par 3 on the back 9 here at TPC Scottsdale. All of that attention on hole number 16. What do you think of the par 3 12?
This is by far tougher, Rich. Downhill tee shot, especially off that back tee. Bunkering down the left, sort of it catches your eye, but it also takes your eye off the water, which is behind and to the right of this green. Got to be careful. This is a real sleeper, this par 3.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Par 5 13, Frank, what kind of scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get on a par 5, obviously birdies and eagles come to mind. 13's been changed a little bit over the years. The split fairway's gone, now it's just one fairway. Water in play, bunker on the left side, they certainly define this fairway. And they've toughened up the front and left side of this par 5 green. The longer hitter, a high ball hitter, still will get a reward at 13.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
What a shot. Almost in. So this is the third shot to the par 5. A huge momentum shift with the eagle. At the 14th now, it's a par 4.
And a dogleg left once again. The bunker on the left side's been pushed out to the fairway to really make you think whether or not you can carry that. It's a lengthy second shot because it's going to play a little bit uphill. And this green is well protected on the left side with the 2 bunkers.
What a drive. Just tattooed that. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. Little bit uphill.
Should be safely on deck.
Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. $15 under for the day. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Just another solid shot, about 8 feet from the hole. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Good putt. Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997. Here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist pumping, the rowdy spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory Mac...
Oh, Frank, I love it. She just made a hole-in-one.
Join the LPGA, a hole-in-one.
Now to the 17th. And Frank, fair to say this is one of the best short par fours in all of golf?
It is. The drivable par 4 that's designed the way it's meant to be played is a winner. The ones that are just shortened to be made drivable, they don't work. This was designed to be a 17th hole, and it was designed to be drivable. You couldn't get a better place, and you couldn't get a better par 4.
Oh my goodness, that is on in one. Wow, what an incredible shot. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
Beautiful roll on that one, right in the bottom. To the 18th hole now, and Frank, the original designers stepped in and they made this hole quite a bit more challenging.
Yeah, they certainly have stiffened it up. The longest hitters in the game, the Dustin Johnsons, the Bubba Watsons, the J.B. Holmes, used to take it completely over the lake down the left side where there was just one paltry bunker. Now there's a series of bunkers, almost like the church pews at Oakmont, that are littered down the left side, stopping that attack. You're going to have to respect this hole that much more off the tee. Find the fairway. It's still a short iron in, but this finishing hole is now a proper finishing hole.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Oh, what an incredible shot. Frank, that was just a dazzling display of golf today.
It's amazing how a game at times that can be so hard and just absolutely drive you crazy can appear to be so simple. This was just an absolute joy to watch today.
So that'll do it for Frank Nobilo and our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything: birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Frank, par 4 first, relatively gentle start to the round.
It is, Rich. They've taken out the desert that used to limit the players to a drive of about 300 yards. Now, really, you can hit it as far as you want, but you have to be straight. The bunker down the left certainly makes the players respect this opening hole. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Chance to get it close here. Boy, I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man. -1 and really going. Teed up here at the par 4 second. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just blaze away over the hill. Green also changed with the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That will be a great look at birdie. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see.
Let the birdie blitz begin.
Frank, what's the strategy here off the tee at the par 5 third?
For the long hitters, they still think that they can reach this par 5 and 2 comfortably with a good tee shot. For the shorter hitters, it really is a thought about where you lay up that second shot to try and leave a good third shot yardage in. Still a good tee shot, though. That hazard down the right side protects against someone who's a little too cavalier off the tee.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, this will be from 200 yards, second shot. How'd you like that strike?
That was top of the tree.
These putts keep the round together. How about that? 4 under par. Frank, what kind of shot is required here at the par 3 fourth?
A little drop shot par 3 down the hill in today's standards because it's under 200 yards. Series of 3 tee boxes, so plenty to choose from there. The entry into the green is well protected now by the 2 bunkers, one in the center and one on the right front of this green.
This one looks right on point. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the 5th hole and a challenging par 4.
Slightly longer this year. Played off a new tee at the back, and there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. They've now been put together to form one and in the perfect position that really make you think about your tee shot. It takes a very big drive to try and carry that bunker on the right. It's going to be at least 315 plus yards to get past that. Green itself still tilts a little left to right and back towards the player.
120 yards left, Frank, and a little wind at the back. Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it. Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
This is a 9-footer. Score that. A birdie. Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased, but that bunkering in that choke point. So, the strategy. Do you have the length to get past them? Or, if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, one of the great moments in tournament history here in Scottsdale, you go back to 1996, the sudden death playoff between Phil Mickelson and Justin Leonard. Mickelson has always been the hero out here because he went to Arizona State.
Yeah, and it still runs through his veins, Rich. There was such an important win for him because to do it in front of people that he considered his home crowd was huge. And then also to do it in a playoff where obviously it's win or lose. So for Mickelson, 1996 and TPC Scottsdale, certainly ring home.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Has to be feeling good right now. Looks good with 2 straight birdies and 7 under on the card. Frank, where's the difficulty here on the 7th hole, the par 3 of more than 200 yards?
Well, Rich, front hole locations are always probably the toughest here because that's the narrowest part of the green. Bunkering really hasn't changed, and the green still does widen up, but the hole tends to play slightly uphill.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Good round going, -7. Frank, the par 4 8th, this is a good hole.
It is. A dogleg to the left forces the player to go out the right, and this will play every inch of its yardage, which is over 470 yards. Green's still pretty much the same with that false front, unless there's a flag position in the front. You're really going to have to fly it at least 20 yards or so into that green, otherwise that ball is going to run towards the front.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Right on 145 yards left to the flagstick. Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, Djokovic or Federer or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Moves to -8. Rounding out the front 9 with a par 4 of 453 yards from the back tee. Looks to be straight away here, Frank. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, that bunker, there used to be two bunkers down the right side. There is now one, and it also pinches into the fairway, which almost makes this hole look like a faint dogleg right. But really, the best line is still down the left side, so it still actually suits a draw off the tee. Green is slightly elevated and not very deep too, so judging that second shot, getting the right club is essential here at 9.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Right about 9 feet here to the hole. Drops it in for birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back 9. Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A third straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5 coming home. So a good drive, perhaps with a little bit of cut off the tee, and that should shape up nicely for this long par 4.
Second shot, good look at the green. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Well, the great hits just keep coming. Moves to minus 11 on the day. Well, Frank, this is kind of the forgotten par 3 on the back 9 here at TPC Scottsdale. All of that attention on hole number 16. What do you think of the par 3 12th?
This is by far tougher, Rich. Downhill tee shot, especially off that back tee. Bunkering down the left sort of it catches your eye, but it also takes your eye off the water, which is behind and to the right of this green. Got to be careful. This is a real sleeper, this par 3.
On the green in regulation. And getting ready for the putt.
Great, too.
Beautiful. Par 5 13, Frank, what kind of scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get on a par 5, obviously birdies and eagles come to mind. 13's been changed a little bit over the years. The split fairway's gone. Now it's just one fairway. Water in play, bunker on the left side. They certainly define this fairway. And they've toughened up the front and left side of this par 5 green. The longer hitter, a high ball hitter, still will get a reward at 13.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. This has a good ring to it. -14. Par 4, 14. Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And, of course, that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Strong wind here early in the round. How do you think this is going to affect the players, Frank?
Well, they've got to be clever on a club selection and the type of shot they want to hit now.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
She's played some solid golf today. See if she can keep it going with another birdie. Stroke that with authority. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Headed for the bunker, I think. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. What a great bunker shot. Frank, best bunker players that you've ever seen.
Most of them South African. Gary Player, anything else, David Frost, just have a great feel. A little bit like what we just saw there.
Well, here we are at the 16th hole, looking at just over 160 yards. Doesn't seem all that daunting, Frank. But 160 yards with 20,000 people, horned into a little stadium in the desert, that makes it a different story.
It certainly is. This was one hole, too, where Tom Watson would send his caddy forward. He would stay back by 15. His caddy would get his yardage. Watson would simply walk on the tee. His caddy would give him the club. He would not go through his normal routine. He would simply just head away. It was one hole that he never wanted to think about. It might look simple, but it's what the player feels.
That will be a great look at birdie. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous, a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the putt.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Unstoppable right now. That's an eagle. To the 18th hole now, and Frank, the original designers stepped in and they made this hole quite a bit more challenging.
Yeah, they certainly have stiffened it up. The longest hitters in the game, the Dustin Johnsons, the Bubba Watsons, the J.B. Holmes, used to take it completely over the lake down the left side where there was just one paltry bunker. Now there's a series of bunkers, almost like the church pews at Oakmont, that are littered down the left side, stopping that attack. You're going to have to respect this hole that much more off the tee. Find the fairway. It's still a short iron in, but this finishing hole is now a proper finishing hole.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Has it. Frank, just some great golf here today.
Yeah, that's a round to remember. Not often you play that well and you feel like you were head and shoulders above the rest of the field.
What a thrill to watch. And for Frank Nobilo and our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. Well, again, the fairways are lined with those huge galleries coming off 16 and 17. Now the finishing hole here at TPC Scottsdale. And Frank, what can we expect?
Well, this is a goodie. It'll play slightly as a dogleg left. Now,